towards Kelly again, and she lets fly again. What a strike and what a goal!
Has gone for it. Oh, magnificent!
She wants the goal. She'll get it. It's another hat-trick.
Here's Catlin. 1-0 Arsenal. Real buzz of noise now.
To London for the 2016 FA Cup final. The game of the year has recently been moved to Wembley Stadium, and a bumper crowd of 32,000 enthusiastic fans flock to watch Arsenal ladies take on Chelsea ladies. Enough people to almost fill one tier of the famous ground. A burst of applause as the players meet the distinguished guests representing Her Majesty the Queen. Then it's straight down to business. And in no time, there's a goal. It's the Gunners in their red shirts who take the lead. Danielle Carter shooting into the net. A lovely goal. The Blues of Chelsea are worthy foes and try to save the day, but have no answer. So it's Arsenal who win the cup for a 14th time. It's all smiles and yet another honour for their veteran captain, Alex Scott.
Ahoy, less of the veteran, thank you very much. But yes, a lot has changed since Arsenal last won the FA Cup. It's been blue ribbons tied to the trophy every year since then, 3 times in the sky blue colours of Manchester City. Yes, hello, Arsenal taking on City in the Women's FA Cup. Well, it could have been the final, but fate has brought these two giants together in the last 16. It's a huge game here at Boreham Wood. Both clubs stacked with internationals and desperate for a major trophy. One of them will fall today. No replays here. Extra time and penalties could decide it, and kick off in the Adobe Women's FA Cup in just over 10 minutes' time. Well, I think we have crunched the numbers, and I think there's 12 FA Cups between us. Farah?
I've lost 12, you mean?
No. I didn't want to mention that. I didn't want to mention that. But a wealth of experience for this one today. Let's go straight in there, because we were all together last week as that Arsenal shock defeat to West Ham, Farah. They've fallen further behind Chelsea in the WSL now, which means this game today is huge for them.
Yeah, it is, and I think it has to be a focus. Obviously, the disappointment in losing away to West Ham last week, I think now they can refocus on something different. This is a tournament, Alex, or a competition that we all know Arsenal are phenomenal in. The history that they have in the FA Cup, both men and the women's team, is something that they're renowned for. So I'm sure this is a competition, and we heard Leah speaking yesterday on Football Focus. That is something that they're excited about. So they can switch focuses. They're at home. They've got a good crowd, and I'm expecting a big performance.
Yeah, but up against a Manchester City team, Anita, that are flying at the moment. They've won their last 9.
Yeah, I think this Man City team is playing closer to their potential. The front three seem to have established really good relationships and fluid play. But I think both managers are under a lot of pressure to deliver.
Well, we saw last time these two play, there was a lot between the two managers, actually. Let's bring you some team news on today. Let's see how the teams are looking right now. Okay, Sabrina D'Angelo replaces Manuela Zinsberger in goal, and Vivian Miedema is not involved due to a minor knee issue. Katie McCabe back in the team, though, after suspension. Okay, one change for Manchester City from last week. Jess Park starts in place of Philippa Angeldahl. Okay, let's get you over to Jo Curry and hear from the City camp. She's got Chloe Kelly alongside her.
Well, Chloe, the sun is shining. It's a huge FA Cup game, 2 of the heavyweights of women's football, and it's in front of the TV cameras. How much do you enjoy afternoons like this?
Yeah, it's amazing. Great to be here today at Meadow Park. Looking forward to the game and the FA Cup. It's exciting.
And just on who you're playing, Arsenal, one of the toughest away games you could have pulled out of the pot. Do you wish you were playing maybe a potentially easier team, or do you really relish these kind of big games so early on in the Cup?
No, of course, we enjoy these big games. That's what this competition's all about. And yeah, I think it's really exciting for everyone involved, and being the away team, of course, I enjoy that.
Manchester City are on such a wonderful run of form at the moment. What's the confidence like in the squad that you arrive here with today?
Yeah, very confident. We're playing great football and it's exciting to be part of a great team. I think it's just enjoyable, the front line. It's really exciting and we're playing good football, but it all comes down to the training pitch, putting the work in.
After a trophyless season last year, what's the hunger like to get to a major final this year and get some more silverware?
Yeah, this is a top team. We deserve silverware and we'll fight for everything, every competition that we're in.
Chloe, thank you so much for speaking to us. Enjoy the game.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Chloe Kelly has won the FA Cup back in 2020 with Manchester City. 8 goals in all competitions this season, Farah.
Yeah, she's having a phenomenal season. And I think, we heard her mention there how enjoyable it is for her to play in this front line. And, for us on the sideline watching it, they're really exciting. I think they've changed a little bit this season to last. You can see Chloe Kelly here, central area. I think the way that their wide players now are playing and, really mixing up the play. Chloe Kelly more central here. And it's actually Lauren Hemp off the other side that is making this central run. Yes, this is a foul here. But in terms of their movement and the areas of the pitch that they're getting into, I think it really, adds to the strengths of their team. You can see here Lauren Hemp again central and it's Bunny Shaw on the outside with the finisher Anita. But I think between the three of them and how connected they are, I think that's been the difference this season.
And it's instinctive, as soon as Chloe Kelly picks up the ball, Hemp's first thought is, can I get in the box, get narrow? And she's on the back post here with a wonderful header. And that interplay between them, you can really see that relationship has firmly established.
Anita, speak more about that actually, because as a defender, when you're facing these three in such great form, how would you be feeling?
Well, if I was a striker, I'd want to play with them. As a defender, I'd be grabbing my teammates, for help, because we know how good they are 1v1, and that's the battles we're really looking forward to seeing today.
I think it's this player, Alex. Bunny Shaw. I think, she's been phenomenal this season. I think in terms of her shots to goal ratio, in terms of conversion, has been really good. But I think what she brings to the game in terms of her strength, being able to hold up play, that really allows players like Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp to come more now off the sidelines and come into play, which actually, for a defender, which you used to will know about, when there's congestion in and around the box, it's really difficult. Who picks up who? The movement, it's really confusing for a back line.
Especially that movement, that interchanging. Used to hate it, Farah. I used to hate it. Okay, well, despite defeat for Arsenal last week, it was a first start for England captain Leah Williamson. 10 months last week. She's been speaking to Joe Curry.
Well, Leah, it's so good to see you. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm good. Back playing football, which makes me happy, obviously.
Take your time, exactly the same thing.
When you can't do the thing that you love for so long, does it change your approach to football, to life?
Both, I think. I would have preferred to have been playing football, but I wasn't going to waste the opportunity that I was handed in terms of I've spent time with my family and, I've not had to say no to a birthday party. I made a joke, I think I counted them at one point, but more Saturday nights than I've ever had in my life, just because that's when everybody else does things, not midweek,
How are the piano lessons going?
On hold. I had to give my piano back after that. I only had it for 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm in the market for a new one. And then, don't worry, that I will not leave that skill behind.
Maybe a keyboard.
Yeah, there's going to have to be a keyboard, I think.
Good for away games.
Yeah.
During that time out, you at least had very good company in the ACL crew.
Yeah.
Viv has talked about the fact that since she's come back, she's had to learn to trust her knee again, whereas Beth just seemed to bolt out of the blocks.
Yeah.
What's your experience been?
I think I sit somewhere in between, probably closer to Viv than to Beth. It's still, when I watch things, it makes me shudder, and I think that'll be the same forever now. I think I seen a stat the other day. I mean, it's me, Viv and Beth. It was like 498 days since the last time we all started a game together, and it feels so long ago. It was nice. We just had a bit of a joke with the Euros moment and the kiss on the forehead, just to bring it back and highlight it. Like I said, enjoy the moments when they come.
This weekend, it's all about the FA Cup.
Yeah.
How much do you personally look forward to this competition every year?
I love it. I think growing up at Arsenal, it's across men's and women's, it's obviously a very precious thing here. We both hold the record, I think I'm right in saying, in terms of number of times the team's won it. It's something the club's proud of and something that we've definitely let slip. So I love it. I love the FA Cup. I think it's special. It's football heritage here, isn't it?
If you could look ahead, Arsenal get to an FA Cup final, you lift the trophy at Wembley, would that be almost the perfect end to a difficult 12 months?
Yeah, I think you take when it came to returning to the pitch, that was my biggest moment, and even having conversations last week, the first start, I said I'm going to make sure I enjoy today, but a trophy would be, yeah, that's the vision, I suppose, the dream, so I hope so.
Yeah, there she is. I got a lot of stick yesterday, Farah, actually, referencing Leah Williamson as the Arsenal captain. But she is, of course, leading the team out today in the absence of Kim Little. But they're going to need her experience and her leadership today.
Yeah, I think for sure. And I think we can reference her that. I think, you know, in terms of the future of the club, I think that's a player that they'll want to see be here for a long period. But Alex, what she brought last week in the 45 minutes that she played against West Ham was stability to that back line, something that Arsenal haven't had this season. Leah knows so much about the club. She knows what it means to win trophies. And so I think she knows the importance of it. And a player like that is really needed in this Arsenal team today.
Yeah, she's going to be hoping to put on a performance today in front of the England manager, Sarina Wiegman. It's going to be a great game, this one. Let's get you over to our commentary team. And adding to the FA Cups is Gilly Flaherty alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Alex. Hello, everyone. A rivalry that seems to become ever fiercer each time these two meet, as they put the WSL title race to one side just for an afternoon and set their sights on the FA Cup. It's Arsenal, the 14-time record winners of this competition, against Manchester City, who have won 3 of the last 7 Women's FA Cups. No Viviana Miedema for Arsenal today. She misses out with slight knee irritation, but should be back in the next few days. Priya Leonardson-Morning replaces her in one of 4 changes from Arsenal's first ever defeat by West Ham. Sabrina D'Angelo takes the place of regular number 1 Manuela Zinsberger in goal. Katie McCabe is back from suspension in for Steph Catley, and Kyra Cooney-Cross starts ahead of Leah Valti. Manchester City make 2 changes from their Continental Cup win over Tottenham in midweek, but just 1 from their last league game. Jess Park in for Philippa Angeldal. Khadija Shaw has been in red-hot form this season. 14 goals in all competitions. She leads the way in the WSL Golden Boot race as well. Well, I'm delighted to have the 7-time Women's FA Cup winner, Gilly Flaherty, alongside me for this one. And what can we say about the form of this woman this season? She is hitting new heights once again.
Yeah, she's very prolific this season. Obviously, 14 goals in all competitions, 4 assists as well. You know, she's such a presence there. For me, I mean, when I played against her as a defender, it was really hard work to mark her. She uses her body really well. But this year, I think she's just become a bit more prolific, you know, a bit more clinical with her finishing, and she's been huge for Man City this year.
And huge for Leah Williamson to be starting once again for Arsenal, having got her first start in 9.5 months. Last match against West Ham, but as we say, 1 player not involved in the squad today. But of course, here supporting her teammates, Viviana Miedema. As we say, we understand that it's slight knee irritation. Arsenal hope to have her back potentially for the rescheduled Continental Cup quarter-final against London City Lionesses in midweek, or if not, for that huge match in the WSL against Manchester United at the Emirates. But she will be a big miss today, Gilly.
Yeah, she will be a big miss. I mean, she's a fantastic player. She's obviously been out for a while. Obviously, last week she had a bit of a difficult game. But she's just so creative, and she is a match winner as well. She can just turn it on in a minute. But obviously, yeah, it's a miss for them, but obviously they want to make sure they look after. And obviously this player as well, Katie McCabe, she was huge loss for them last week. I think her presence down the left-hand side, it was a very nitty-gritty game, you know, getting your foot stuck in, and they missed that from her.
So at the start of this Women's FA Cup tie, the players and officials take the knee. The message against racism still clear. So it will be Manchester City to get us underway. As we say, this is a rivalry that has really blossomed over the last few years as both teams fight it out on the domestic fronts. But Gilly, Alex and the others touched on it before this game. As Manchester City get us underway, given the result that Arsenal had last weekend, given the damage that has done to their title hopes in the WSL, is this game a better chance of silverware for Arsenal than it is potentially overall in the season for Manchester City? And will that be in the mind of Jonas Eidevall, that perhaps they might not be able to make up that ground in the end in the title race, which makes this game even more important?
Yeah, most definitely. I think because as a club, you know, even when I was there, it was all about winning, you know, and bringing trophies home, and they're not being consistent with that over the years. And I think from the fans as well, they demand that. But I do think obviously they want a challenge in the WSL. They want to be getting a winner's title as well. But yeah, I think the FA Cup is huge for them in bringing a trophy home.
Here come Manchester City under a bit of pressure as Hasegawa will send it all the way back to Kiara Keating. Yes, certainly, we're not going to write Arsenal out of the WSL title race. They sit third after that first ever loss to West Ham last weekend. 6 points behind Chelsea, who are top, 3 points behind Manchester City. But we know that you can afford to lose very few games in the WSL if you want to win the title. But this is about the FA Cup this afternoon, a trophy that both sides, regardless of whatever other silverware they might be able to win this season, certainly would mean a huge amount to go deep into this competition, to reach the final at Wembley and to go all the way. Casper Eye with the throw, forward by Khadija Shaw. Here is Ruben Williamson. D'Angelo calmly back out to Leah Williamson. Interesting change in goal, isn't it, Gilly, from Arsenal? Serena D'Angelo preparing to head off to the Gold Cup with Canada. The period for joining up with the national team comes after this game, but it is a huge game to make a change. And even if you know that goalkeeper isn't going to be available going forward, is it rotation or is it purely selection? He wants her in ahead of Zinsberger for this one.
Yeah, obviously not sure, obviously, in regards to is it an outcome of what happened last week. You know, obviously that could be potential to change, obviously. But I think as well with the FA Cup, clubs do tend to have another goalkeeper that they play in the FA Cup. But again, it's just for me, it's obviously you're playing against Man City, one of the best in the league, you know, so you're seeing both teams, they've come out really strong. But yeah, obviously only Jonas really will understand why he's obviously made that change, but obviously believes in D'Angelo.
Interception by Ruben Moy. Hughes is there for Manchester City, but won't find Park. Full dispossessed, Kelly with the foot in. The other end, Manchester City sticking with the woman who has very much become their number one this season at just 19 years of age still. Had a rather mixed game when the sides met here in the WSL back in November. Gave away a penalty, then saved it. She might be called into action here, and she is. Judged well ahead of Russo. Lovely turn by Khadija Shaw, and Shaw driving at Katie McCabe. Kelly's delivery. Manchester City keeping it alive with Lauren Hemp as Hasegawa stabs it forward. Box is there for Arsenal. Trying to release Russo. Anticipated by Greenwood.
Yeah, it's brilliant play there by Shaw as well. She just takes Ruben Moy out of the game completely with her 1-2 touch around the corner. But obviously what you're seeing as well, as soon as Chloe Kelly gets the ball, you can see Lauren Hemp, she's coming in off the back shoulder. Chloe Kelly's got one thing in mind, and that's to put the ball back across for Lauren Hemp to come in. Arsenal defend it well.
Keating taking her time over this. Won't be kept in by Hemp, too much on it.
Yeah, I mean here, cushions it, and then just spins. Ruben Moy just gets too tight to her. And it's one of those ones as a defender, if you are getting tight, you then can't allow the player to turn. So you don't want to foul, but you can't allow her to do both. You either drop off, allow her to have it and turn and run at you, or you get tight and don't allow it.
She's on the move again, Khadija Shaw, and she wins the corner for Manchester City. Already tight, already tense in these early stages.
Yeah, I can feel it as well, you know. I can feel it in me. feel a little bit nervous, Vicky, about this game.
Former Arsenal defender Gilly Flaherty alongside us here on the BBC, but of course, perfectly neutral. So Chloe Kelly it will be, former Arsenal player herself, to send this in for Manchester City. Congested 6-yard box. Kemp did meet the header, but can only send it into the stands.
Yeah, I think Arsenal defend that one well. It's a great whip in from Chloe Kelly. You can see the bodies all around the goalkeeper there as well. But yeah, just get caught underneath the ball. See Lauren Hemp, she's peeling off to try and hit it back across, but yeah, there's just too much whip on it there.
Well, she scored an absolutely brilliant scorpion kick last weekend against Leicester. A real piece of skill from Lauren Hemp. Unable to find the target there and was on the stretch. Here is Williamson. Good ball to find Emily Fox. Another who will be off to the Gold Cup shortly at the USA.
I think that's a shame as well, though. You know, you get a player come in from the transfer window, she slots straight in, she's got a player of match performance in her first game, and then you lose her for a period. And I think that's one area that Arsenal have struggled in this season, is the right back position. So I think that would be a loss for them.
Again, Kiara Keating just taking her time over this clearance. And again, a little bit too much on it from the young Manchester City goalkeeper.
You can see Shaw as well. She's telling Keating, play it to my chest, let me hold it up. Bit similar to what we see last week, though, with Arsenal against West Ham. Man City are not moving the Arsenal backline, so those balls, you have to be really precise with it and obviously land it exactly where you want it.
Arsenal allowing Manchester City to play out from the back for now as Alexandru drives it forwards. Back to Hasegawa, who's having another outstanding season. Here goes Jess Park. Saw the run of Lauren Hemp. Up against Katie McCabe. Hemp with the early delivery. And D'Angelo watched that all the way. Gets a round of applause for her troubles from Lossa Buben-Moore. But it's one of those where the centre-half's movement might just put off the goalkeeper there, Gilly Flaherty.
Yeah, I held my breath there as well, because I didn't know if it was like Buben-Moore just maybe miscalculated it a little bit, but she obviously hears a call because she pulls her foot out of the way. But that's one of those ones where if there's a slight out of place with the communication of the foot, it can end up in an own goal.
Here come Arsenal. All whipped in, Ford is in there. Can't make decisive contact, and Flag is up on the far side anyway. But Arsenal's best move of the game so far.
Yeah, it's taken them a while to get into the game. We're looking, obviously, that's their best move in after 8 minutes. But it's good build-up play down the right-hand side. I just think Neri should have gone just a little bit earlier. I mean, Kamish doesn't look offside in that position. Obviously, maybe we got a different angle from where the linesman's at. But yeah, I just think he could have gone a little second earlier.
Here is Casper Rai, end to end so far. Buben-Moore with the challenge on Hemp, who does retain possession. Here goes Park. Now Hemp. Hemp. Wahabi. Hasegawa under pressure, and unusually for her has lost it. Helped out by Alex Greenwood. Fox will bring it forward for Arsenal. Here is Beth Meads. Back to Emily Fox once more. Back to Mead once more. Arsenal storming down that right-hand side. Very good challenge by Alex Greenwood.
Yeah, it's good pressure from Arsenal. Obviously, when Man City get the ball, has to go, for example, she thinks she's got a bit more time than what she has. But Arsenal know as well that she wants to have the ball. She wants to take lots of touches, so they're just allowing the ball into her to set the trap, really, to turn it over.
Shaw with the interception and was caught there by Williamson. And it will be a free kick to Manchester City. A few boos for Khadija Shaw. Not much nicey-nicey anymore, is there, in the women's game, Gilly Flaherty?
No, the fans are a little bit more savage now than when I was playing. You just see what Leah Williamson's trying to do there. I think she just catches Khadija Shaw late on the back of the calf. But for me, there's no intent, wasn't malicious.
Keating to send it long for Manchester City. Cleared away by Fox. Here come Arsenal. Not someone though dispossessed. Well, the games between these two in recent years have been tightly contested as a whole. But they have most recently gone the way of the home side. A home side has won the last 6 encounters when Arsenal and Manchester City have met. And 8 of the last 11 meetings have ended 2-1 to someone. It's this bizarre repeated scoreline that seem to get in these games.
It's crazy stats, isn't it, really? It's mad. But I think it just shows as well how unpredictable a little bit in the WSL is, because even coming in today's game, I think people was asking me, what do you think? And I said, I honestly can't call it. I really can't.
Here is McKay. Forward to Russo. Touch just took it away from her. Well defended by Alexandri. Lead away by Keating. Williamson underneath it for Arsenal. Kasagawa's there for Manchester City. Only as far as forward though. Leonardson Morning to McKay. Forward by Fox. Lead on the turn. City with the throw.
Just noticing as well though, when McKay broke forward then, she's trying to look to put the ball in the box. She just got Alessia Russo just standing in there. There's not enough bodies in there. If you've got Marnham in the middle, you need her to commit. If Ford's been come out of place because McKay's took the wide area, get committed into the box. Can Mead come off the back shoulder?
Williamson will just keep that in under pressure. Does prevent the corner. Won't prevent the throw. In the end, it did get a little deflection, so good defending all round from Leah Williamson.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Lauren Hemp on the outside, or Chloe Kelly, sorry, that was pressing. And I think that's what City do well. As soon as Arsenal drop back into their defensive third, they don't just drop off, they do the high press.
A little bit of space for Leonardson Morning. Ford trying to stay on side, and the flag stays down. Here goes Caitlin Ford. We'll try the curler. Keating right behind it.
It's hard for Ford there again, because I think she's just in isolation. Obviously, she picks the ball up and she decides to cut inside, whereas I think I've seen her in the World Cup where she fancied going down on her left-hand side, then cutting back in on her right, potentially cutting back again on her left. But there, I think as soon as she cuts inside, really she's made a decision for herself, because all she can then do is shoot.
Yes, from that point on, Keating does know what's coming.
I just think with Ford, she's such a good dribbler of the ball, and she normally has confidence in herself to go and would take Casper Rye 1v1 there and then cut it back inside once you're in the box. No, you're cutting back inside so early, you're giving yourself really one option, that's to have a shot, and from there you're going to have to shoot and it be a spectacular one to get in from the distance that you're in.
Okay, with the throw, not quite read by either Leonardson Morning or Ford. Greenwood has it for Manchester City. Kasparai. Here is Hemp. Only short to aim for initially. The blue shirts now arriving. Coombs to Hasegawa. Once again, Arsenal dropping deep to defend. Hemp with the dink pass, and it's a good one. Kasparai up against Cooney Cross, McCabe there as well. Here is Park. Kasparai with the delivery. Almost everybody, including Chloe Kelly. They did get a touch. Manchester City will have the throw, taken quickly. Wahabi, back to Kelly. Looking for Shaw. Met by Hemp. Over the bar. How much contact was there on Khadija Shaw? As Lauren Hemp eventually got the effort away.
Yeah, it's a great ball in from Chloe Kelly, and from the distance we was at, I didn't know how close it was actually to the line. But here she fancies herself, puts a great ball in. Obviously, Khadija Shaw does the initial challenge, just able to watch it back. Well, I mean, it is late from Lotte Wubben-Moy. You know, she's leading as well with the elbow. See, ref has obviously clearly missed that one, but Hemp doing well again to come in off the back shoulder. Obviously, it's not by her standard, the shot that she wants to do, but she's still staying alive to the second phase.
It's one of those, if Hemp doesn't get the shot away, whether the referee, Stacey Pearson, perhaps pays a little bit more attention to that earlier coming together between Shaw and Wubben-Moy. Shaw on the ball once more. Might have rolled her a little bit. Well dispossessed by Kolova. He was dispossessed in turn by Laura Coombs. But still, Gilly, it's tight, it's tense.
Yeah, it is, and I think it's good reaction for both teams, really, when they both lose the ball, is that they're straight on it to try and win it back.
Here goes Lauren Hemp. Park. Nice footwork. He did well to squeeze it back to Hasegawa. Wahabi. Alexandri. Here is Park, nice 1-2. Alexandri, neat and tidy this from Manchester City. Can they find the finish? Hemp's effort blocked by McCabe. Forward with the control. Kasparai will steal it back. City on top in this little spell.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed by Jess Park as well in this first initial 18 minutes or so. You know, she's taking up the role, obviously, they're missing Jill Ward. She doesn't do the same job as what Jill Ward does, but she's just offering a lot in there. She's being the link-up play, she's being brave on the ball, she's moving the ball 1-2 touch as well. But yeah, really impressed by her so far.
Here's Kasparai. Park once more. Steered away by Wubben-Moy. Back in by Wahabi. Fox will send it clear. Reed's header inadvertently straight to Laura Coombs. Lovely vision by Chloe Kelly. Wahabi's delivery. D'Angelo's there, but City is starting to click.
Yeah, it's good rotation from players as well. Obviously, you know, the interlink-up play. Got full-backs overlapping as well. So we'll just be able to watch it again. I mean, Wubben-Moy nowhere near the ball at all. Nowhere near. So maybe it's another case of if we had VAR, would that have been pulled back for a penalty?
Perhaps one of those as a centre-half where you deliberately don't look at the referee for the next 30 seconds or so.
Done that a couple of times, Vicky, to be fair.
Did it work?
Yeah, it did, most of the time.
We're having to deal with the sunshine in this first half. Kiara Keating. Her error right at the end of the game in November that allowed Stina Blackstenius to score that late winner for Arsenal. Shaw down, nothing doing by referee Stacey Pearson. Forward by Williamson, looking to use that distribution from the back. Kasparai let it bounce and then decided that perhaps wasn't the right decision. Gets the foot in.
That's It's one of them ones where the bounce deceives you. You think it's there, then it bounces and it completely changes direction.
For Arsenal. And Arsenal, sloppy, pulled offside. Disappointing.
It's one of those ones as well where it's frustrating because really as a wide player you should be able to see across the pitch, you know, and see the line. But I mean, she's obviously not even looking. It's tight. It's not like she's miles and miles offside. It is tight. But it's just about having just a quick glance, a look, having a little, get your head up a little bit, look across the line.
Arsenal 2 allow that to bounce, and Williamson will deal with it. Over up, not quite away. Cooney Cross almost dispossessed, but forward by McCabe. City win it back, and Hasegawa will try and feed short. Well cleared away by Williamson. Throw goes the way of Manchester City, much to Leah Williamson's disgruntlement.
Sorry, Vic, I just held my breath there because I thought that ball was coming towards me. And everything that I've learned in my whole career just went out the window. I didn't know, well, am I going to head it? Am I going to punch it? What do I do? Luckily it didn't, though. It just dropped in front.
So glad you're right next to me here in the commentary box, Lily Flaherty.
I can't help you no more, sorry.
Free kick to Manchester City. Strong challenge on Lauren Hemp.
Yeah, it's good build-up play from Casper right here. McCabe just late there with the time. And then I think Lauren Hemp knows when you're coming up against McCabe, she does like to dive in. And it's clever from a little touch to take it away from her and just draws the foul.
So good position this for Manchester City. D'Angelo organising the defensive wall. Chloe Kelly with the delivery. Plays down in the area. Play continues. In the end, the whistle goes. Ball behind for a corner.
Yeah, Katie McCabe down there, it seems like she's touching her nose in that, so clash of heads. And if two of the Arsenal players both went together. So there's a little falling over there. I mean, Ford is all over Khadija Shaw there. It's another one though, is there VAR? Could that be rewound back to try and see if that could be a penalty as well? But if you don't have that, then it's down to the referee in her position and what she sees.
So McCabe back up to her feet. Manchester City this time will work the corner short. Here's Hasegawa. All the way back to Kasparai. And City will build again. Hemp's delivery. Coombs with the run. Nice idea. Not quite the execution.
Yeah, obviously we're just sitting behind where Lauren Hemp is. You can see what as she cuts inside, you can see that she sees Laura Coombs' run, but I think she just curls it too much. You know, it was a little bit more to the left than Coombs would have been in.
So just past the midway point of the first half. And we are still level between Arsenal and Manchester City. This tie will be decided on the day, extra time and penalties if required. Still a long way to go. So here come Arsenal. Okay, getting forwards. Hemp does well. And we've come to expect that from Katie McCabe. And Lauren Hemp is certainly a player that will give no quarter either. And just a little bumping together between them now. Lauren Hemp has pushed over Katie McCabe. There's the initial coming together. Katie McCabe's got down like a sack of potatoes. And Lauren Hemp, this is rather amusing, Gilly.
Yeah, I think Lauren Hemp has turned to Katie McCabe and just said, come on. Obviously, we you see the initial one there, McCabe with the push. We've seen a tackle earlier on, just before that, and as they're running away, you see there's a little bit of argy-bargy between them, but Miss McCabe doing it, you know, Lauren Hemp's just running away and McCabe stepping to her twice there. But you just got to keep your head, you know, I mean, listen, I had a little bit of McCabe in me when I was playing in the sense of how I was, but, you know, you've just done a tackle there. You don't want to be getting sent off. You don't want to be getting bookings. Your team needs you on the pitch. That's where they need you, not sitting in the stands watching the game. So you just have to stay switched on and just use your head.
Can Kiara Keating bring some calm to the proceedings? Hemp won't keep it in. Well, they're players that know each other so well as well, aren't they? You know, they've come up against each other so times, and Lauren Hemp is a player that can allow things to get under her skin too, and Katie McCabe perhaps aware of that and just trying to put a bit of needle into that personal battle, and not sure whether that's Lauren Hemp's decision to go over to the left-hand side for now and get away from Katie McCabe for a bit, perhaps just to cool down, or whether Gareth Taylor's gone, you know what, Lauren, let's just come over where I can keep a bit of an eye on you, and you're not quite next to Katie McCabe and rubbing shoulders in the same way.
Then battles are always good in the game. They are, because you want to try and win the mental battle against the player you're playing against, but at the same time, you can't let it be a detriment to the team and the performance, and it affects your own performance where you're then losing your head and you're not playing as well as what you can do because you're so focused on trying to rifle up the opposition.
Sounds like you've been there and done that, Gilly Flaherty.
Many a times.
It is McCabe. What can she do going forward? She can find Caitlin Ford. Good ball up against Asagawa. Ford took it into trouble in the shape of Casper Wright, who clears.
And that's the fault that I think that I see. We're going forward there, being brave on the left-hand side and cutting back in on your right.
Leonardson Morning. Here is McCabe. Cooney cross, back to Vubenmoy. And now Williamson. Here is Cooney cross once more. Pelova on the turn, pressured by Coon as well. Referee Stacey Pearson happy to let that go. Williamson forwards. Here is Mead. Well cut out before it can reach Russo. And Hemp will bring it away for Manchester City.
Yeah, there's been good bits of possession from Arsenal. It's just that final ball, you know, and that's where they're lacking on it. But again, Man City not really letting Arsenal have much time on the ball. They're trying to press them hard. But obviously, Arsenal needs to play around that trap. You know, move the ball quickly. Don't let Man City get close.
Here comes Jess Park, and now Chloe Kelly. Neat footwork. Coombs crowded out, well challenged by Leonardson Morning. And Alessia Russo will drive, tackled by Alexandri. Play on, and Pelova does just that. Ford trying to stay onside once again. Flag goes up, look tight, and again the offside trap has caught Arsenal.
Yeah, I think obviously you can tell by the Arsenal fans they're getting frustrated. They don't believe that Ford was offside. I mean, it's good transitional play in the middle from Arsenal. Obviously, I think when you see the initial burst, for me, she looks onside there with the cut of the grass going across, but you do see Caitlin Ford just a second before take an initial burst. The ball doesn't come, so then she holds up. If the ball went on the initial burst, she was miles onside, but for me, even on that, when you're looking at the lines across the pitch, she looked onside to me.
Here is Coombs for Manchester City. Here's Arsenal watching a couple of those Caitlin Ford runs back. Might feel a little aggrieved that the flag has gone up when it did. Here is Khadija Shaw, brought down by Leonardson Morning. And that might be more than a free kick. Stacey Pearson is calling Frida Leonardson Morning over. Final warning.
Yeah, I think obviously you can see it is a clear foul. I mean, you can see it on the right foot. She's nowhere near her. But thankfully for her, she's stayed out the book.
Well, Jonas Eidevall deep in conversation with the officials. This, of course, is the first time that his counterpart, Gareth Taylor, and he have met since Gareth Taylor's very strong comments back in November about Eidevall's behaviour towards the fourth official. Said it was over the top and unnecessary. Particular phrase that he used, Eidevall took exception to and called borderline slander. Rivalry off the pitch as well as on it. This is what it means when you're at the top of your game, as Casper Wright, in frustration, won't keep that in. But he was asked about it in his pre-match press conference, Jonas Eidevall, what the atmosphere would be like between himself and Gareth Taylor. They did shake hands before the game, but when asked before the match, said he hadn't thought about it. A lot of water flowing down the Thames were Eidevall's words. Since then, no idea what the atmosphere would be like. But, you know, these are men at the top of their game as well in terms of management. They know that, particularly in the WSL, defeats to title rivals can cost you the title. And clearly Gareth Taylor frustrated after that game, and I'm sure will be casting a wry glance at how many conversations Eidevall may or may not be having with the officials, but we'll see. Good play by Hasegawa. Short. Kelly, bit of space, closed down by McCabe. Kelly will take it on, trying to pick the pass, couldn't quite do so. Arsenal picking passes inside their own penalty area. D'Angelo, in the end, no nonsense.
Calm and composed there from the Arsenal goalkeeper and the defence. But I think what you see when Chloe Kelly gets the ball and she cuts inside, Shaw's just hanging out a little bit. She's really sitting on potentially the edge of the box. You need her more in. You need her disrupting the Arsenal defence.
Here goes Chloe Kelly once more. Delivery is over the head of Shaw. Hemp will try and collect as Fox stumbles. Wahabi. Lots of possession in tight, congested areas, but both goalkeepers with very little to do so far in terms of meaningful saves. Can Manchester City change that? Hemp's delivery, good header away by Williamson. Ford will take the touch and pick the pass to Russo, who wins the free kick.
I just think as well there, just watching City putting the balls in the box. Obviously you've got Shaw, you've got Park, both committing, you've got Chloe Kelly locking off the edge of the box, but you're missing that someone sitting there on the edge. Obviously where you would have Jill Ward picking up those spaces. You need then obviously Coombs or Hasegawa to pick up that edge of the box space.
Good pressure by Laura Coombs. Palova deals with it well. Russo. Fox getting forwards, Hemp with the interception. Forward by Williamson. Cleared away by Kasparai. Williamson. Nice ball to find Mead, who's been quiet so far. Cleared away by Kasparai.
Again, that's just what we talked about with Arsenal, was the final ball. Now, which has been lacking from it was lacking from last week as well against West Ham, and it's been the same here.
Forward by Coombs. Fox with the header away. And Harvey takes a tumble, but Manchester City still in possession with Park. Here is Hemp. Taking on Fox. Hemp with the delivery. Ruben Moy gets there ahead of Shaw, and D'Angelo plays.
Yeah, it's a good claim from D'Angelo as well. Obviously, she's not had much to do in this first half so far. She has the pressure of Chloe Kelly as well, coming off her back shoulder. Good build-up play again from Man City in the wide areas. Sure with the initial one, but there, it's a calm claim from her.
Well, one by Beth Mead. Won't be able to keep it in. It's just not quite coming together for Arsenal.
Yeah, it's just, like I said, it's in the final third. Just that last piece of the puzzle, really. But I think naturally, I think Arsenal will feel a little bit of pressure as well from last week's result. You know, that quite a lot of their players wasn't at the races on the day, and they didn't put in the performances that they know they can. So it's about them wanting to get back to their best as well.
And Beth Mead, of course, one of several Lionesses playing in front of the England manager Sarina Wiegman here at Meadow Park.
That's better for Woman Moy as well, because she got tight to Park. As soon as Park just sort of turns on the half, she then sticks her foot in to win the ball.
Leonard Simonen. Here goes Emily Fox. Lover on the stretch, can't collect. Does feel like a game that needs a goal.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. I just think, but it's not even really like we've had a bundle of chances as well to sort of create the excitement. We haven't really had clear-cut ones. Neither keepers really have been tested, but you sort of, yeah, you don't really want it to be a game where you have to wait for a mistake for something to happen, you know. So, yeah, let's hope that we can get at least some goals, hopefully in the first half, but if not, throughout the whole game as well.
Yes, of course, that would be entertaining for the neutral, but just in terms of these teams taking off the shackles a little bit as well, just get the feeling somebody needs to make the breakthrough, and then we'll see a response.
Yeah, it's about being brave, you know, and it's being ruthless as well. But this is the FA Cup. It's one of my favourite trophies, you know, and I think sometimes you do have the pressure of the WSL, but this is an FA Cup game, you know, it's knockout. You have to do the business today.
Can Arsenal do the business here with Russo? Falls backwards. This is it as well. Jonas Eidevall was talking ahead of this game about how against West Ham, Arsenal tried too few high-risk, high-reward passes, but when you take a high risk, a high reward in any area of the pitch, if you're Arsenal or if you're Manchester City, you know that you're up against a quality opponent who can take immediate advantage, and psychologically, he's just perhaps that little bit harder.
Yeah, and I also think as well, though, if that's how you're going to play, as a defender, you have to fancy yourself today that you're going to win your individual battle. You have to. You know, and it's all about your 1v1 defending if you are going to be brave and you are going to high press.
Here goes Chloe Kelly. Parker gone down, no foul given. Pelova. Forward, straight into Casper Eye. Will roll to Katie McCabe. Now Cooney Cross. A little short from Pelova, and Chloe Kelly dispossesses Ruben Moy. Shaw's in the centre. Kemp was there. Quite the ball she would have wanted. Hasegawa picks it up. Little ricochet, little 1-2. Hasegawa just dispossessed at the vital moment. Williamson calmly away, but once again, look how deep Arsenal dropped when Manchester City advanced towards that penalty area. Kelly knew she was offside, and the chance for City is gone.
Yeah, Arsenal need to step out, you know, they're just encouraging City, obviously the deeper they get, they're encouraging City just to pile more and more bodies forward. But it's come from an Arsenal turnover, you know, it's Arsenal putting themselves under pressure. City read that, press it really well, just put themselves in difficult situations that they don't need to put themselves in.
Cleared away by McKay. Russo. Hasegawa's there.
Just feel for Russo, she's so isolated. And I think that's the difference. I think when Khadija Shaw gets the ball played up to her, she has Park playing underneath her. The distances between her and the midfielders that are playing underneath her are much closer. Russo receives the ball and she doesn't have a single teammate around her to help her to lay it off to.
Won't be kept in by Laura Coombs over on that far side. Well, whichever side will be in the hat tomorrow, they will find out their opponents live on the One Show tomorrow. BBC One at 7 o'clock. Our very own Alex Scott and Farrah Williams doing the honours. And do join us for Chelsea against Manchester City. Another huge game, this time back in the WSL Friday. Coverage starts at 7 o'clock on BBC Two and the iPlayer. Here is Shaw. Pelova. Cooney cross. Kemp will bring it forward for Manchester City. Straight into Leah Williamson. Put down nicely by Chloe Kelly, who has a go. Appeals for offside. Not given against Khadija Shaw. Shaw's delivery. D'Angelo's take, just about. And a quick release as well. Here is Caitlin Ford. Russo chasing. Hasegawa's there. Dispossessed by Hasegawa. Kasparai then into Ford.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Vicky. I know it's a counter-attack. D'Angelo does really well to play it quickly, but Russo then has got 3 players around her. You've got Ford who's played it to her, who's trying to come up to support her. There's no one else around to help him. You need Marnham, you need Cooney Cross, you need them players to get around her for her to be able to link up and play off of.
Flicked forward by Khadija Shaw, only as far as Emily Fox. It's Cooney Cross and Pelova are sitting pretty deep, aren't they? And as you say, that gap then between those 2 midfielders and even Leonardo Marnham, who is dropping deep at times as well. Interception by Hemp. Ball delivery. Here is Beth Mead. Cooney Cross. Pelova. Julie waves her microphone at the Arsenal players, trying to get them to move forward. Here is Emily Fox, now getting forward. Mead ahead of her.
Just see Pelova there when she picks the ball up. Emily Fox is busting a cut down the right-hand side. As a midfielder, you need to, they say you need to have your head on a swivel. That's why I was never a midfielder, because my head was not swiveling nowhere. But you've got to be able to see that. If you've worked it from one side of the pitch, you've got to go out on the opposite side.
Here is Katie McCabe. Pelova. Fox. But notable that Manchester City are not dropping as deep when Arsenal are in possession as Arsenal do when it's vice versa. And Arsenal play through them. Caitlin Ford as well to retain it. And then that final touch, just let her down, cleared away by Wahabi before Mead can latch onto it.
Yeah, I think you can see what she was trying to do. The gap opened up between the City defence. She's trying to burst through it quickly, but just over touches on that last one. Too much power and it runs away from her.
Pack stands here at Meadow Park. Still waiting for the breakthrough. Ruben Moy. Ran into trouble. Almost wins it back from Hasegawa. Alexandri comes to help out. Forward by Greenwood. In terms of those bodies around Russo, I'm just wondering, Idaval was quite critical of how narrow they were against West Ham. The fact that the likes of not only Ford and Mead, but McCabe and Fox as well, they're staying so wide to try and, I presume, address that problem that they had against West Ham. But it does mean when Russo's in that central position, the bodies aren't necessarily cutting in field to help her.
That's when you need the help and support from the midfielders then. If you're asking your wide players to stay wide, they need to have players in front of them then.
Here goes Jess Park. Lauren Hemp forward for Manchester City. Shaw's on the move inside the area. Again, they go over Khadija Shaw. Over Emily Fox as well. Did she get a touch on that? Referee says no.
You obviously see when Lauren Hemp comes back inside, she's only got one thing on her mind, and that's to put the ball in the box. But just also talking just about Russo there, if that's what you want, then potentially Russo isn't the ball. You know, if you're asking your players to stay wide, and maybe Jonas has said that he doesn't want the Cooney Cross or Marnham to be closer to her, obviously maybe to make the pitch bigger and to stretch it, but then maybe that isn't the ball then into Russo, because you give it to Russo, she's just giving it straight back.
Ford under pressure, was fouled by Alexandri. Takes the free kick quickly, 1 minute at a time. As Russo gets there ahead of Hasegawa. Leonard Simornev. Russo. Cooney Cross. It's a sea of blue in front of the Arsenal red shirts. Ruben Moy. Leonard Simornev. Cooney Cross. Here is Ford. Just getting the better of Alexandri. Arsenal finishing this half strongly. Ruben Moy. Cooney Cross. See the run on the far side. Mead with the header. Keating can watch it behind.
It's better from Arsenal because they've got more bodies there in and around to support. It's good, obviously got a lot of Ruben Moy, she's up high. It's very close. Obviously, like I said, the linesman is in a much better position. A very close call.
No time to clear the ball away for Kiara Keating. 0-0, Gilly Flaherty at half-time.
Yeah, little bit of a stalemate, but I just think for both teams, it's not really like either team has really created anything clear-cut. You know, both goalkeepers had quiet first halves. But like I said, we don't want it to be where a mistake gives us a goal in this game. But it's about just being a bit braver, being a bit more braver with your passes, with your decision-making, and getting a bit more bodies in the box as well.
Scratch the first half, go again in the second. Half-time here at Meadow Park. It's Arsenal 0, it's Manchester City 0.
Thank you, Gilly. Thank you, Vicky. Well, we always knew it was going to be tight between these two teams. They've played each other 28 times, 13 wins for Arsenal, 13 wins for Manchester City. It's hard to call, Farah. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's really hard to call. I think, you know, both teams, I think Man City have probably been the better in terms of the control of the game, but in terms of creating chances, we haven't seen much from either team, and I'm just waiting for that little bit of magic of the FA Cup to happen in this game, Alex Scott.
Well, hopefully we'll see it in the second half. But Nita, actually, Gilly said in commentary about someone being brave, but is about that when there's so much at stake?
Absolutely, it's a one-off. You have to win this game. You have to go for it and commit numbers and take those opportunities. Neither goalkeeper has really been tested, and I think Arsenal have looked like the away team on their home pitch. So, you know, definitely at half-time they need to change something.
OK, what manager will be happy with their team in there, Farah?
I think in terms of the control, I think Manchester City have definitely done that. I think there's opportunities for both teams, you know, to create better chances at goal. I think for Arsenal, if they use their width better because it's there, I think if they use it better and there's better quality, they can create some more chances for Russo centrally. They haven't used it. And the same with Manchester City. I think centrally, if they can get their wide players closer to Bunny Shaw, which we're used to seeing, I think they'll have, you know, better opportunities of creating better chances.
Well, actually, I just love how you mentioned Bunny Shaw. Thank you for setting me up with this, because we came into the programme and we were highlighting Manchester City's front three, Anita, when actually they have been linking up and causing some trouble. And actually, you think there actually could have been a penalty?
Yeah, definitely. I think as the ball comes in wide here, you see Chloe Cayley deliver the ball into the box, and you see Ruben Moy's forearm just come across and completely wipe out Bunny Shaw.
Alex,
for me, that is a clear penalty.
It's not just it's a red card. It's an absolute red card. It's a stonewall penalty for me. But as you mentioned there, the player that they can actually hurt Arsenal through is that Bunny Shaw centrally. The way she takes the ball here, just rolls the defender. What we've seen in the past from her, Anita, is that the wide players are closer when she gets into these positions and she can bring them in the game. We'll see again here. But they're just a bit too wide for them to create anything clear-cut.
And I think Arsenal's struggling to just manage her there, you know. Sometimes when you get a physical player like that, you want to get tight, and that's easier for them to roll you. And you see the second time, Ruben Moy steps off and allows her to turn. So she's got to get the right balance and timing, when to press, when to drop off.
Actually, Farah, talk more about, because you said about Manchester City's formation and the reason why they're playing that diamond.
Yeah, so we said trying to recognise why their wide players are so narrow. Actually, from a goal kick, an Arsenal goal kick, the two wide players will come central, and Bunny Shaw will create that diamond in the midfield so that they can press. But what that allows for Arsenal to do is play in the wide areas. They're yet to recognise that. It's better for Manchester City if they win it in those areas, in terms of those transitions. They are more central to then counter-attack.
Yeah. Do you think Arsenal are set up kind of not to fail and they're more cautious of last week, Anita?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're more tentative and they are taking less risk. But they need to recognise in those moments, as Farah said, when they can actually hurt Man City, play into those wider areas. You saw so many opportunities where Emily Fox is ready to bomb forward and they're turning it down, playing quite negative and playing inside.
Actually, when you look at it, Farah, the way that Arsenal are set up, it's more suiting them that they are playing kind of on the counter-attack.
Yeah, they're so deep. I think certainly their midfielders. I think we've seen Russo really isolated in those central areas up front. But where they can hurt them here, forward on the right, on the left-hand side here, she's in acres of space. These are the opportunities that Arsenal need to create more, because if they can get forward into these areas, that's a half chance from the edge of the box. We expected more. But this is where she's in acres and acres of space. And as I said, they could hurt them a little bit more. But once they made this pass, Arsenal midfielders don't seem to want to carry on and join in and help and support if anything is to come from that, Anita.
Yeah, you can see that the Arsenal forward players and midfielders aren't committing those runs. They're not going 100% believing that they're going to win that race and also get the ball into space, into those areas.
Farah, what would you change from this Arsenal team then? How would you get them more into the game? Why is Alessia Russo so isolated?
I think they need to change their midfield. I think in terms of, Marnham, Frida Marnham, for me, I don't think she's been impactful enough in the game. I don't think she's close enough to Russo. She seems to be running a lot, but not really running into areas that are supportive or creative. So I think if you can, they're obviously missing Miedema, and I think, that's key in that 10 role, or even Kim Little, somebody like that can get on the balls in those pockets and get closer to Russo up front. So I think they need to change that midfield, because I think in terms of the creativity in there, there's not really that much going on in there anymore.
And also, I think the wide forwards, in Mead and Ford, need to dictate where they want that pass earlier. They've got to make those runs and cause problems for the full-back and centre-back.
Yeah. I was actually going to say, because thinking about the key battles amongst that, and we're talking about the midfield, when you look at Manchester City, the amount of time Hasegawa has on the ball, Anita.
Yeah, she's like the composer. She dictates play. She's always an option, and she's a threat. As soon as she gets that ball, she's looking forward and trying to find those forward players. So Arsenal have to be aware and sort of nullify her as well.
Okay, I suppose, but Katie McCabe, you can always rely on her to bring some spice, Farah Williams, to the game.
You definitely can. I mean, if this blue card is coming to the game,
a sin bin?
Yeah, she'll be sin bin pretty much most of the 90 minutes. But I think that's what makes Katie McCabe the player that she is. She's an aggressive player. You can see here really late, but she likes to let wide players know that she's there, and I think that there's nothing wrong in that, but at times she has to just judge it a little bit better. But this is the bit we were sat on the sideline laughing at. A little shove off the ball here with Hemp, falls down, she gets up, and as it plays on, I think this is comical. This as Lauren Hemp is obviously going up the pitch a little bit, you'll see the slightest of shoves, and Katie McCabe just rolls herself down. It's hysterical, Alex, on the sideline.
I actually think the initial one for McCabe there is potentially a booking. It's off the ball incident. She's just served a suspension. I don't know if she wants to get right back there. And I know sometimes it's about the mental battle and trying to get in players' heads, and she's quite effective at doing it.
Yeah, well, I wish I had that new blue card in my pocket for that sin bin. Actually, let's get over to Jo Curry right now and some more analysis on this first half. She's with Arsenal's Laura Wienreuter.
Well, Laura, I'm not going to take it personally, because I know you'd much rather be out on the pitch playing. You did your ACL back in May last year. How close are you now to getting back out on the pitch and playing? Because I know you're back in training.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting closer now. My knee starts to feel a bit better. It's just nice when you trust your knee again, when you feel comfortable on the pitch again. So yeah, I'm still a bit to go, but yeah, I'm getting closer now.
It was the most glamorous ACL club in the world. No one wanted to be a part of it, but the fact you've seen the likes of Beth and Viv and Leah now back out on the pitch playing, how much has that inspired you now to do those last few steps to get back out there?
Yeah, I think obviously Leah and me have just been a week apart when we did our knees, and I think it's just incredible to see her back on the pitch again, just seeing her happy playing football again. And obviously, I think it was a special situation as well, because, I've seen the whole 9 months with her, all the ups and downs, all the work she put in, all the heart she put in. And yeah, now seeing her, being back on the pitch, and she was incredible as an athlete, but even so as a human being, I think I'm very, very proud of her. And it's just, yeah, exciting for me as well to know it is possible to get back and to get back well as well. So yeah, I'm excited for the next few weeks.
Yeah, I know the girls can't wait to have you back out there. In terms of this afternoon's game then, from what you've seen, who'll be the happier manager at half-time, do you think?
I think it's quite an even game. I think you can see both teams want to play football. It's an intensive game. Yeah, I think we created a few good counter-attacks. It's just now finding the free player, the free spaces, and hopefully then it ends up well on our side.
In terms of the games coming up, you've got big games coming up at the Emirates. But how much do you enjoy playing here in front of this Boreham Wood crowd?
Yeah, I do really like to play here, to be fair. It's just compact. It's a tradition. I think we're really close to our fans here. I think it's nice to play here. It's our home ground, but yeah, of course it is nice to play at the Emirates as well. It's just nice that so many people can buy tickets. So yeah, we hope that it just grows and grows again.
Well, look, enjoy the second half, and we hope the last little bit of rehab goes very quickly. We see you back on the pitch as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Of course, Arsenal won the Champions League here at Meadow Park, and the fans absolutely loved that one. Well, another game you don't want to miss is City are back in town next Friday for a top-of-the-table clash at Chelsea. Well, it all went off last time they met. That game's going to be live on BBC Two from 7 o'clock. And tonight, it's the final of what's been a brilliant Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria taking on the host Ivory Coast, and that one is on BBC Three from 7:30. Farah and I will be trying to help make the Women's FA Cup quarter-final draw tomorrow night on the One Show. What could possibly go wrong in that one, Farah Williams? Actually, and on the subject of draws, the Conti Cup semi-final draw has been made, and Manchester City will be facing Chelsea, while Arsenal or London City Lionesses will be taking on Aston Villa. The semi-finals will be played on the 6th and 7th of March, while the final will be on Sunday, the 31st of March, live on the BBC.
What? No.
Well, there were two ties played in the FA Cup yesterday. Here's the best of the action, starting with Leicester taking on Birmingham.
Floated to the back post. It's a good ball as well, and an own goal. And Birmingham City ahead. 1 minute and 10 seconds into the match. And she goes into the return pass from Rantalat. Takarada, good through ball. This is Kaiman, that's 1-1. Beautifully worked goal from Leicester City. Here's O'Brien again. Oh, here's Smith. Can she equalise? Libby Smith! Massive, massive moment for her. Couldn't get it under control. It's broken for Tierney again. Oh, and here's a chance for 3-2. And it's in from Shannon O'Brien. Driven across, and there's the fourth goal that they crave. It's Takarada who's got it. Tierney through the middle. Here's Rose's first involvement. Got Baker, if she can square it, in a good position. Rose going for goal herself and probably winning the cup tie. Not as far as Josie Green, resisted the temptation to shoot, played a good ball in instead, and there's Aileen Whelan to thump in number 6. Chance for Charlton here, maybe. Needs a good pass, and it got one to Tegan McGowan. What can she do here? McGowan dropping the shoulder, going for goal. Not a bad effort at all, that. Good run here from Nilden. Can she pick the pass? She has for Bethany England, who struck the bar. James Turner. Kit Graham, there's the breakthrough for Tottenham. And finally, Tottenham get the breakthrough. It's taken them 76 minutes.
Okay, so Leicester and Tottenham are already in the bag. On a bowl, could be a bowl usually these days. Remember, that's tomorrow night. There's other big ties being played today in the Adobe Women's FA Cup 5th round. Wars of the 3rd tier. Brighton right there still 0-0. And you've got current holders Chelsea playing Crystal Palace at 2 o'clock. Okay, well, Meadow Park, the fans want to see some goals in the second half. Remember, extra time penalties. It could go all the way at the moment, Farah. And Jess Glynn right there, there's no place she'd rather be. That one is far too easy for me. Farah Williams, what do you want to see more of in the second half?
I think Arsenal being a home team, I'd like to see them be a little bit more ambitious in terms of their attack, commit more bodies forward to help support Russo and certainly forward off that left-hand side, and how they can get Beth Mead more into the game down the right-hand side. So, yeah, as I said, a little bit more ambition from Arsenal in this FA Cup time.
Manchester City, Anita?
Man City need to keep doing what they're doing, but be slightly more aggressive and maybe play for second phase opportunities in and around the box where they're arriving later on the edge of the box to take shots on and things like that.
I feel like this is where we need Ellen White when she just always says, I want to see goals.
We do want to see that as well, Alex. We don't want an extra 30 minutes.
Okay, let's get you back to our commentary team. A defender. We've got a defender in commentary. Gilly Flaherty is alongside Vicky Sparks.
Thank you very much, Alex. You scored a few goals during your time, didn't you, Gilly?
I did. I had one season, actually, where I banged in eight goals for Chelsea. I was up there, I think, like second or third top goal scorer for the club.
Well, she is a player, as the team say, that will be required to get more into the game from an Arsenal perspective in this second half. It will be Arsenal to get us underway. Both clubs' goals of the season, incidentally, came at this very ground in a meeting between these sides last season. 2-1 win for Arsenal in April. Katie McCabe with an absolute stunner for the winner. Khadija Shaw with a super header, finishing off a wonderful Manchester City team move for the opener. I think either side would take any goal in any fashion, however it came, to break the deadlock. It has been tight, it has been tense, but Gilly, you were saying before half-time, and we were talking off air at the break as well, bravery has to be the key word for both sides in this second half.
Yeah, most definitely it does. No, we don't want it to be a mistake that leads to a goal, but you have to be brave.
Katie McCabe going for that worldie once again. Beth Mead will keep it alive for Arsenal, well dispossessed by Wahabi. But already there is more urgency from Arsenal in this second half. Williamson's delivery cleared away as Kelly will bring it forward. Well, the shouts from some of the Arsenal fans is to put more pressure on Kiara Keating there. Do they have a point?
Well, yeah, but no, because you didn't give her no pressure there and she just pings it straight out of play. So I think that's what City would like you to do, is press so they can just play it around you. But with Arsenal, they're just going to sit there and say, listen, it's like I said in the first half, it's so hard to play a ball and to pinpoint it onto someone. And they're going to fancy themselves with the longer balls, because it becomes a possession ball, and it's 50-50 really on who's going to have the ball in the air.
Here is Keating once again. Now tries to pick the pass, and Fox is there, and Arsenal win back possession. Here is Mead. Lead away by Hasegawa, but Mead will keep it alive, almost. Wahabi there ahead of Emily Fox.
Also, just on the subject of Keating there, when I was playing, sometimes a manager would say, right, I want the goalkeeper to have it because they're going to be less threatening when they have the ball. I don't want the centre-backs to have it because they can play better. So sometimes you see them, they're setting up a press, a trigger, to go, right, every time it goes back to Keating, we'll let her have it, but the moment it goes to Greenwood, for example, we're going to press her.
Kelly putting on a bit of pressure on D'Angelo at the other end. Cooney Cross out to Katie McCabe. Here is Russo. McCabe under pressure. In the end, rather bumped into by Chloe Kelly, and there we go. There's the shoulder to shoulder once again from Katie McCabe, and Chloe Kelly with absolutely no reaction whatsoever.
I thought we was going to have a deja vu the other year with a throw-in when the ball hit Chloe Kelly in the face from Katie McCabe, but yeah, just got to walk away from those situations and don't let them get the better of you.
Here is Khadija Shaw, shrugs off the attentions of Cooney Cross. D'Angelo right behind it.
Yeah, it's a difficult one because of the distance that Khadija Shaw is from goal to try and really make anything of that.
Here goes Fox. Back from Mead, under pressure from Coombs and then Hemp. Fell over. Picks the pass nicely. Mead with the delivery. Cleared away under pressure. Right fall to Leonardson-Mornham, who was arriving. Mead to Fox. Manchester City will bring it away, but this is much better from Arsenal. Here is Mead. Up against Wahabi. Williamson. Away by Coombs. Williamson there once more. Pelova. Does well. Might have room for the shot here, Pelova. Does go for the corner. Much improved from the home side.
But the difference there, Vicky, is that they've got a lot more bodies in and around the ball. You know, obviously, even looking at the centre-backs, Leah Williamson, she's higher to be able to win the first ball. Pelova does really well to shrug Laura Coombs off. You see what she's trying to do, she's trying to bend it into the opposite corner, but it all comes because Arsenal players are a lot higher up the pitch and they've got a lot more support around the ball.
How will Manchester City respond to this tactical tweak from Yona Saidaval? Alexandri. Here goes Cooney Cross for Arsenal. A risky from D'Angelo. It was too risky. Helped out by her defence and midfields, but slight error there from the Arsenal goalkeeper. Here goes Katie McCabe at the other end, and Chiara Keating watched that all the way. Well, we've seen Katie McCabe do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I think obviously when Katie McCabe's got the ball there, she just puts the ball straight in, but they've been building up, and there's no one in there. See, D'Angelo there gets very, very lucky. See, Khadija Shaw does press her, but she just managed to get away with that one.
Long from Chiara Keating, who looks to pick the pass once more. Ruben Moy clears away. Forward by Chloe Kelly. A ricochet as Shaw looks to burst in behind. And D'Angelo with a bit more time. Having to recover Arsenal psychologically as much as anything from another piece of unwanted history this season. Their first loss to West Ham, coming on the heels of their first ever defeat to Tottenham in December. As Alexandri shepherds that back to Keating. Manchester City also with a bit of unwanted record-making this campaign. Their first ever defeat by Brighton in November. Ended a 27-game unbeaten run at home as well. It just shows that the WSL these days is capable, and has been for a few years, of popping up with these surprise results.
That's what we want though from our league. You know, we want it to be more competitive. We don't want the same teams running away with it all the time. And I do think it also shows the other clubs that they have to be on their game all the time. It's just a flashback as well to what Chloe Kelly done there with Katie McCabe. I think they know if they can get a McCabe, they'll see it as a chance to potentially get her off the pitch. So it's just needs to use her head.
Here is Pelova. Mead's on the move. Execution once again. But Mead is much more in this game in the second half than she was in the first.
Yeah, and Arsenal need her. You know, they need her to be in the game. She's a match winner for Arsenal. You know, she can create something out of nothing. And so when you don't have Beth Mead in the game, or you're able to get the ball to her, it's so ineffective going forward. You know, you need to have her on the ball. But again, that pass there from Pelova just overhit.
No option to link up with Viviana Miedema this afternoon. She is missing with a slight knee issue, irritation of the knee. They do hope to have her back, Arsenal, in the next few days. And they have their rearranged Continental Cup quarter-final against London City Lionesses to come in midweek. Here you go, Manchester City. Well, Harvey loses out to Emily Fox. And Arsenal on the charge once more. Russo held her run. Ford arriving at the far post. Full delivery again. Final ball, final execution.
Yeah, and as Russo picks the ball up, I'm just taking a look, a quick glance into the box. And because she's come out, even through the mum, she's not high enough. You know, obviously then you have got Ford coming in off the back shoulder, but that's two bodies that are in there. They need to commit more going forward.
Here goes Cooney Cross. Interception by Alex Greenwood. Monham is there, but the touch is poor.
I think you see Beth Mead as well, because she's telling Pelova to come out. Now, I think sometimes Russo makes a run and Arsenal feel like they have to play her, but she's dragging the defence away, and so she's not always the right option to be given the ball. And I think that's what Beth Mead is saying to Pelova. Look over here, the space is over here in the wide area.
Nasugawa straight into the chest of Caitlin Ford. Again, delivery questionable. Mead will collect. It was Pelova. Can't find Emily Fox, but will retain possession for Arsenal. Here is Fox now, little 1-2, so congested. Cooney Cross. Now Katie McCabe. Ford. Does well, does really well. Corner, nothing more. Dangerous run by Caitlin Ford, and Keating taking one for the team.
And in my opinion, that's what we've not seen enough of from Caitlin Ford here. 1v1 with Kasparai. She just skips past her there. Obviously Keating does well, and Hasegawa do well really, because they really shut off that angle and make it difficult for her to be able to cut the ball back. But we haven't seen enough of that from Ford.
Well, Keating still struggling here, and the medical staff are on for Manchester City.
Yeah, I think she seems to get a bit of a whack in the back of the head. I think when you've got a player like Caitlin Ford travelling at pace as well, but Keating's brave there. She does well, like I said, with Hasegawa as well, to really shut off that angle and make it difficult for her to do the cutback.
Well, it is Sandy McKeever on the bench for Manchester City. No Ellie Roebuck.
Yeah, I think it's the back of Ford that hits into the back of Keating's head.
Painful one, and they will want to make sure that she is absolutely okay. So, could see a bit of action for Sandy McKeever, who has played for Manchester City this season, but Keating at just 19 years of age, very much the number one. No game time at all for Ellie Roebuck this season under Gareth Taylor. Of course, she will want to continue Kiara Keating, but it's one of those, particularly when you've taken that sort of knock, the last thing you want is a corner to defend.
Yeah, it's not ideal at all, but she'll be switched on. She's got good players around her as well.
So Beth Mead with the high delivery, cleared away by Khadija Shaw. Cooney Cross trying to keep it alive for Arsenal. Here is Fox. Flicked away by Kasparai. It will be another corner.
Yeah, a bit of a difficult delivery there from Fox as well. It was really low, sort of was coming away from the goal as well, but they do well there, Arsenal, to win another corner.
And another chance to put some pressure on Kiara Keating and see how she's responded to that knock. Mead with the delivery, Russo got there. Corner again, got a touch off a City shirt on the way through.
Yeah, a lot of bodies in there. Russo with a header.
It comes all the way through this time, blocked away as Russo drove at the far post. Cooney Cross with the delivery. And Keating has to tip it over. Real pressure this from Arsenal. Another corner.
Yeah, much better ball in there from Cooney Cross in the second phase. I think Arsenal's corners have been much better this week than what they was last week. See Russo with the initial one. It's a great ball in from Cooney Cross here. Really dangerous area. Obviously Keating just has to make sure that it's over.
Oh, she's recovered well from that knock, Kiara Keating. But Arsenal ramping up the pressure. Caves here is the short option. Mead may choose to swing it in again. And they find that decisive touch. It's low, it's driven, almost controlled. Can't quite get the shot away, Russo. McKay. Keatings.
I was thinking there, that corner from Beth Mead as a defender, that's an awful ball to try and deal with. So low, driven. It's one of them ones where you can just connect with it wrong. It seems like that was something that was potentially done on the training ground as well, because you can see the run from Arsenal in that space that Beth Mead hit.
Smiles on the face of Caitlin Ford and Kirsten Kasparai. Naughty one.
Yeah, it was. It seemed like she couldn't put the brakes on, as we say. But yeah, it's a very, very late challenge.
An hour gone, and still nothing to separate these two. But there's no denying Arsenal have been the better side in this second half.
Yeah, they've been a lot better. I think their support has been better. The players have been closer together as well. Just seems a bit more of intensity as well.
And Russo could be onto this. Flag stays down. Russo across. And once again, the red shirts just weren't arriving quite quickly enough.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Leah Williamson again. She's done a couple now down this right-hand side. But I think what happens is Beth Mead comes inside, so Uhabi gets naturally dragged towards her, which then opens up the space for Russo.
Cleared away, but it's all the last ditch at the moment from Manchester City. They can't get a foot on the ball as they try to clear their lines, and Arsenal will send it straight back at them. Good interception there, though, by Park. Here goes Lauren Hemp. Skips away from the challenge of Pelova. Kelly. Wahabi. Alexandra. Kasparai. Here is Park. Hasegawa. Kasparai. Here goes Chloe Kelly. Couple of step overs. Wins the corner.
Kate McCabe adamant it should have been a goal kick there. Tricky feet from Chloe Kelly. Just gets enough space. But yeah, it's clear corner.
Chloe Kelly with the delivery, looking for Shaw, who does win the header. Good save, D'Angelo. Across smartly to deny Khadija Shaw.
And we're sitting right behind Shaw. For me, that looked like it was a banker to go in. D'Angelo does so well. It's a great header from Shaw. Power, direction. D'Angelo full stretch, manages to tip that round the post. Brilliant save.
Take two for Manchester City. Can they test D'Angelo once more? Kelly sends it high. Shaw's there again, and it's off the line by Leah Williamson. Manchester City knocking on the door. Greenwood will try and keep it alive. Ford with the clearance away. But all of a sudden, against the run of play, City with two super chances to break the deadlock. And they're coming forward again. Kelly's delivery, dangerous. Shaw collects. Arsenal struggling to clear their lines. Coombs will send it back to Alex Greenwood. But all of a sudden, Manchester City so close to taking the lead.
Yeah, and that's why Arsenal, they can't switch off when City do go forward. A big save from D'Angelo, a goal line clearance from Leah Williamson.
Alexandri, cleared away by McCabe. Will this be a decisive momentum swing in this second half, or can Arsenal wrest it back? Leonardson Morning will just keep it in. Here is Ford. McCabe. Tried the 1-2 with Leonardson Morning. Cleared away by Hasegawa. Ruben Moyes' header wasn't quite decisive enough, but Williamson takes charge. Uses that distribution to good effect. Mead, well defended by Wahhabi, prevents the corner as well.
Yeah, it seems like it's really started to open up as well for both teams. Both teams having chances to get a goal in front.
Well, whether a response to those two Manchester City chances or whether a planned change, Jonas Eidevall is about to make a double substitution. Steph Catley and Stina Blackstenius preparing to enter the field. Alessia Russo will make way. And Katie McCabe, back from suspension, is also withdrawn. Well, Stina Blackstenius just loves a late goal against Manchester City. She scored the extra time winner in the League Cup semi-final against them last season. She scored the late winner here in the WSL earlier this campaign. And she's on to try and do the damage once again for Arsenal. And Khadija Shaw has been replaced by Mary Fowler. Interesting change, that one, from Gareth Taylor. I have to say, watching her move, we've not seen any sort of injury, but the Manchester City top scorer is off, having almost broken the deadlock twice just before that substitution. Here come Arsenal. Whistle goes. Well, there we go. Clearly, there is an issue for Khadija Shaw, and you have to say it wouldn't have made sense otherwise, that substitution. She looks devastated to have been withdrawn. And these chances, Gilly, were so good.
Yeah, I mean, she had a big header there. It was a great opportunity. But yeah, they're going to want to protect her.
From that angle, looks as though it may just have been creeping past that post rather than inside it, but Williamson was there to avert the danger anyway. Manchester City will bring it away with Mary Fowler. Here is Wahabi. But that is a blow for Manchester City.
Yeah, it is. I also think they've obviously got a big game coming up as well against Chelsea.
Yes, Friday night. Join us on BBC Two. But the FA Cup still hugely important for Gareth Taylor's side. And this one finally poised.
I also think you'll see potentially something different as well, because Lauren Hemp seems to have gone more into the 9 position. Plan was really like a false 9 with Fowler coming out wide. So it's a different perspective for Man City, because Hemp will do something completely different to what Shaw will do.
Not the sight that Gareth Taylor and Manchester City fans wanted to see. As Gilly says, that huge game to come on Friday against the WSL leaders Chelsea. They will be praying that that is nothing too serious. Desperately needed for that. But encouragement for Arsenal, perhaps this afternoon. Ruben Moy. Lovely control over on that far side by Caitlin Ford. Good delivery, cleared away by Greenwood. And here goes Fowler. Did well to find Hemp. And Williamson did better. She's fuming. She wants the free kick there, Leah Williamson. She will continue to go forward. Leonardson Mornham. Cooney cross. Over. Fox. Here is Cooney cross. Axtenius. Leonardson Mornham. Meads straight at Keating.
Yeah, it's a great strike there. For me, generates the power behind it as well. And in a great position. She's obviously coming a little bit inside as well. Floated in off the wide area to pick up that ball. But yeah, it's good play down the right hand side. Blackstenius here. Yeah, and it's a great strike from me, but it is straight at Keating. Obviously, questions over the initial one here. I mean, it's a great tackle. Wahabi, I think, is a bit annoyed. She thinks it's a foul against her.
Ruben Moy getting the better of Hemp. Here is Ford. Catley. Arsenal with the momentum. Manchester City might be able to build some of their own. Here goes Lauren Hemp. Slight miscontrol, and Williamson was ready to pounce.
Yeah, it's a great tackle from Williamson there.
Manchester City still come. Kelly, Kasparai, corner.
Yeah, it's just a huge tackle from Williamson, because obviously she's left really at the back on her own. Lauren Hemp's travelling at full speed. You have to really time that right. If you don't, you could easily be off, but also Hemp could be skipping through. It's great. She stands up, she connects well.
Such a huge player for Arsenal to have back. His second start in 10 months after recovering from that ACL injury. And Serena Wiegmann, who is here this afternoon, will be delighted to see her returning to the heights so quickly. Order to defend here for Arsenal. Kelly's delivery. Coombs will keep it alive in the broadest sense. It's all the way back with Kiara Keating. Fowler. anticipated again by Williamson. Casper Wright. Kelly. Free kick. Much to Caitlin Ford's displeasure.
I also think just on the earlier one as well, in this build-up play, Keating, how has she allowed the time and space to really ping that ball out to Fowler? Arsenal needed to react to that, but again, I think it's just frustration there from Ford. It's a dangerous position here for City to put the ball into the box.
Well, they don't have the likes of Khadija Shaw to aim for. Of course, Steph Horton's still out with injury. Such a threat from set pieces. Do have the players to send in a wicked delivery, and Chloe Kelly is one of those, and it almost bounces all the way through, and it's stabbed in! Manchester City with the breakthrough. Laia Alexandri congratulated by her teammates, and Arsenal just couldn't deal with that delivery. No Shaw, no Horton, no problem. Manchester City lead by a goal to nil.
Someone finally breaks the deadlock in this game, and Alexandri playing at centre-back as well. It's a great finish from her. But again, in what I said in that build-up is Keating starts that move far too easily. She's allowed to play the ball out to Fowler, who's completely on her own, and then eventually they win a free kick. And when you give City a chance to put the ball in the box in this position here, they don't deal with the first one. Obviously, it drops down from Catley really straight into the path of Alexandri. She doesn't deal with it, Catley, and I think obviously a substitute coming on, you need to be on your toes in those situations. She's too flat-footed, it hits her knee, bounces down, and it sets Alexandri up for a great finish.
Second goal of the season for Laia Alexandri, her second goal for Manchester City, and it is a huge one. Well, a break in play here as Sabrina D'Angelo is down, receiving treatment. Is this break better for City right now or better for Arsenal?
I think it's better for Arsenal, to be honest. Because Arsenal have been playing well up to this point, onto the goal, you know, so I think they'll still be installing in them to have the belief. I think going back to the goal, I think it doesn't help Catley that Wubben-Moy completely misses the header, because it obviously then just drops onto Catley. But when you're playing as a defender, you always have to think the person in front of you is going to miss the ball. So you have to stay alive to it. But I don't think it helps the situation that Wubben-Moy misses that header completely. But obviously, we're able to watch it back here now. But Wubben-Moy completely misses it. And Catley is the person behind her. But it's the second phase where it comes down, switching off to where Alexandri is as well, coming on the back shoulder. But it's a huge goal at a very important time for Man City.
Well, his side had to come from behind. And these two met here last season in the WSL. As they make a change, Leah Williamson is off. And Laia Cadena is on. Well, he said before this game, Jonas Eidevall, that Leah Williamson was much closer to playing 90 minutes, but still, of course, coming back from that ACL injury. And Leah Valti is on for Kyra Cooney-Cross. She takes the armband as well as Williamson departs. They've done it before against Manchester City. They've come from behind to win. They'll have to do so again, at least to find the equaliser that would take us to extra time and possibly penalties.
It's hard as well, that substitution with Williamson, because her as a player, she probably feels like she wants to carry on and play, and she can play the extra 15 minutes or so. And a lot has come down the right-hand side with her as well. She's been instrumental in getting Arsenal forward. But again, you have to think of the bigger picture. You know, you've got a player coming back off a lengthy injury. You have to look after her.
Set piece for Arsenal. High delivery, good take Keating under pressure.
Yeah, very good take there from Keating. She has to get up in and around bodies to claim that ball. She does well. Big claim as well from her.
Yep, under a lot of pressure, a lot of bodies around her. But it's Arsenal who are under real pressure now. Arsenal who have won the Women's FA Cup more times than any other side, 14 in all. But not since 2016 have they lifted this trophy. Is it going to be more disappointment in this famous competition for the Gunners? Or can they find a way back into this against Manchester City? Ford and Greenwood coming together. Greenwood's made the block. Arsenal get the throw. Pelova. Ruben Moy. Catley. Hasegawa will make the interception for Manchester City, but Arsenal get the throw. Catley to Valti. Thumped away by Hasegawa. Well, they have been so hard to breach recently, Manchester City, looking to keep their 4th clean sheet in a row. This would be 10 victories in a row as well for Gareth Taylor's side. But Arsenal have shown enough in this second half. They've been the better side, although just before that goal was stabbed in by Laia Alexandri, Khadija Shaw had tested D'Angelo and Leah Williamson. Set pieces were starting to prove a problem as Manchester City began to rack them up. So in the end, it was a set piece that proved decisive.
And Arsenal probably feel frustrated because it was a silly free kick to give away, which come out of probably frustration from Arsenal. When you've got a team like City who are very good at set pieces and can deliver very dangerous balls, you don't want to give them any opportunity to have a free hit to put the ball into your box.
Just over 10 minutes plus added time for Jonas Eidevall's side to rescue this tie. They had more rest in midweek, Arsenal, after that Continental Cup quarter-final against London City Lionesses was postponed due to a waterlogged pitch. On the day, though, mentally it doesn't really give you that rest. They had a training session instead. Can they find an extra element of freshness as we enter these vital closing stages? Good interception by Greenwood, cleared away by Coombs, not once but twice. Was controlled by Chloe Kelly. Catley sliding in, wins the ball, says our referee Stacey Pearson. Here goes Leonardson Mornham behind Pelova, and Fowler almost onto it. Fox is there. Valti gets it back from Fox. And again, that final pass lets Arsenal down.
And that's what we've said most of this game. It's just the final pass, the decision-making in the final third, which has let Arsenal down, because they have created chances. They have got themselves in good positions as well, but they've just been short of that.
And soon, Gareth Taylor will have to contend with Arsenal's final roll of the dice. Kim Little, huge experience, made her 300th Arsenal appearance 3 games ago against Reading, to try and rescue this FA Cup tie for the Gunners. Pelova. A little deflection off the referee. So here is that final change for Arsenal. Frida Leonardson Mornham replaced by Kim Little. And if there's a leader that you want to turn to in this situation, it is that woman.
Yeah, what a player to be able to have come off the bench. I think for Arsenal, they'd be ideally hoping that she'd be starting. But again, she is a match winner. She can create something. I think she's been missing for Arsenal.
Here goes Pelova. Now Mead. Codina. Fox. Put in by Mary Fowler. Fox with the quick throw. Mead with the miscontrol. And the time ticks away.
Leo
Williamson given the fans player of the match inside the stadium here. Once again, so good to see her racking up those minutes in front of her England manager Sarina Wiegman this afternoon as well. Still not quite ready for the full 90. And that day cannot come soon enough for Arsenal. She's had a very good game, Gilly.
Yeah, no, she has. And like I said, I think she's just been instrumental in getting Arsenal forward when she's playing. She's calm, she's composed on the ball. She's one of those players that likes to play the brave passes forward. She likes to pick the pockets, get Russo coming in off the back line in between the midfield and the defence. She likes to play those forward passes, and I think that when she's not on the pitch, you notice that for Arsenal, that they miss that.
Well, nothing more that they can do. Comes off Catley. And there she is, Sarina Wiegman. Plenty of Lioness's interest on the pitch today. Comes off Catley once more. Forward by Hasegawa. Cleared away by Vivian Moy. Valti. Neatly done to Pelova. Touched by Ford though. Not what was intended, and it's all just starting to come apart a little bit for Arsenal. Just when they need it not to.
Yeah, and I think when you see that there is a rush, you know, they've only got, however, 5 minutes or so, a little bit longer to get back into it, to try and force it really to extra time. Things do become rushed and they become a little bit sloppy.
And Manchester City can try and eke out that time. Philippa Angeldal replacing Jess Park, who's another who's played well this afternoon, Gilly.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by her because I think, you know, she's still a young player, you know, and she's not going to do the same job as what Jill Ward does. But I think she comes in there, she's brave, she wants to get on the ball, she moves the ball quickly as well, and defensively she does her duties too. She's not a midfielder that just wants to attack all the time. She gets back and does the dirty work as well, so I think she's had a great game today.
Valdi under pressure, wins the free kick. Cordina's ball forward. Here is Ford. Valti. Ruben Moy. Cordina once more. And they break through those Manchester City lines. Lovely turn by Emily Fox. Always curving away from that post because of the little touch. And a little bit of pushing and shoving in the aftermath between Alexandri and Pelova. But Arsenal still with the momentum, set piece.
And I think what Fox does really well there is she comes in off the line, so she sits in that pocket and is able to pick the ball up. Just deflection just takes it away, but it's a good chance.
Arsenal with the corner. Keating Kane got something on it. Just about enough. Blackstenius. Oh, she wasn't too happy with that coming together with Chloe Kelly, but the protests from Blackstenius were pretty quickly curtailed by the player herself.
Yeah, I held my breath there a little bit because I think she tries to stand on her feet. If she goes down, for me, I mean, I'm not too sure clearly where it is there, if it's in the box, but I think she just tries to be too honest. The contact's there from Chloe Kelly, but she tries to stay up to get the ball into the box, and it's probably a disadvantage to herself.
Yeah, we saw one of those last weekend, didn't we? Anywhere else on the pitch. Let's see exactly where this was. Well, it's in the box. Is there enough in that? If referee Stacey Pearson had decided so, would have been a lifeline for Arsenal.
Yeah, I just think it's because she tries to stay up, you know, and if she makes a meal out of it, which quite a lot of players would do that in that situation, then it's a question there for the referee. But I think she just tries to be too honest and stay up and really tries to get the ball back into the box.
And as we say, no VAR, no second look. On-field decision is final. Will she get another chance? Chloe Kelly back up to her feet as the seconds continue to tick away. Clearance from Keating, helped on by Hasegawa. Forward by Catley, and Ford can run at Kasparai. Red shirts arriving. Catley, one of them. Back to Fords. And Blackstenius was there. And Keating does just about hold on to the header.
Arsenal fans are probably thinking anywhere else, and it's a very good chance that that's a goal. But it's straight at Keating. Don't know if she gets up a little bit too early to really be able to generate the power, but Keating there, she's at full stretch, but manages to claim it.
Too many of Arsenal's chances have been straight at the 19-year-old Manchester City goalkeeper. To be fair, several of City's efforts have been straight at D'Angelo at the other end, but not Alexandri's. That is the difference. And it looks as though it will stay the difference unless Arsenal can find a leveller inside the minimum 6 minutes added on at the end of this FA Cup tie.
I think as well for Arsenal, it's when they'll be really looking to their fans to drive them on, and huge 6 minutes to keep them in the game.
Corina. Here is Valti. Bubenmoy. Saw the run of Palova, so did Greenwoods. Cleared away before Little can latch onto it. Ford to Valti. Corina. Mead with the beautifully delicate layoff. Fox with the cross. And the header brilliantly tipped away by Chiara Keating. Outstanding save from the Manchester City teenager. Palova so close to a leveller at the last.
What a huge save. For me, it felt like it was in the hair for minutes. She just moves her feet just enough to tip it round the corner. It's a great save. I thought he was in. From where I was, I thought he was in.
Corner swung in, cleared away by Alex Greenwood, helped on by Laura Coombs. And Chloe Kelly will try and run this clear for Manchester City. No free kick given. Arsenal lose possession. Hasegawa takes no chances.
See, Man City are clinging on. They're just trying to put anything through the ball to get rid of it.
Valti forwards. Too much on it for Catley.
You see what she's trying to do there. Catley's in acres of space. Just overhits it, but what a huge save here this is from Keating. From where we are, for me, I didn't think she was going to get there, but she gets her fingertips on it to tip it round the corner.
Here come Manchester City. This time the whistle will go. It will be a yellow card as well for Lotte Bubenmoy.
That's just one of those ones. It's a tactical foul. She's just trying to get hold of Lauren Hemp's shirt. She's pulling her. She puts a tackle in as well.
So another change for Manchester City. Yui Hasegawa is replaced by Alana Kennedy, and again it just ticks the time away.
I think as well from a Man City's point of view, just trying to see this game out now, get a bit more of a defensive-minded player into the back line, or whether she's sitting in front of the... She seems to be slotting in at the back line.
Kasper Rai down by the corner flag. Throw goes the way of Arsenal. A few moments before that yellow card for Ruben Moy, I would have seen Kirsten Kasper Rai pick up a yellow for a foul. So 2 yellow cards in quick succession. Kelly down. Retains possession. Strong challenge there by Pelova. Referee Stacey Pearson happy to let those tackles fly in. Chloe Kelly with the foot in. That will be a free kick. Good advantage played instead. The assistant on the far side was flagging. And Arsenal want to keep the momentum going. They have to. Kasper Rai away for Manchester City. Jonas Eidevall came flying out there. That was a goalkeeper save.
He ended up knocking the ball behind the bench.
Almost as good as Keating's from Pelova. Here come Arsenal, Little drives. Brilliant save again by Chiara Keating. She at the moment is single-handedly preserving Manchester City's progression to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup.
And you see Kim Little as well, pick the ball up like that on the edge of the box. You'd fancy her to put it in the back of the net, but Keating has been phenomenal.
Corner comes in from Arsenal. Keating spills it almost. Does it go over the line? Well, she dives on the ball. Arsenal are furious. So is Jonas Eidevall. Did that ball cross the line? No second chance to have another look. It will not count. Should it have done?
It's all going on. It's all going on. I think it's really hard to see from the angle that we're at whether it crossed the line or not, but wow.
Well, after 2 outstanding saves, almost a costly error from Chiara Keating. And as Gilly says, from that angle, it is so hard to tell. The whole curve of the ball has to be over the line. Have Manchester City got away with one there?
I just think it's really hard. It's really hard.
Was that Arsenal's last chance? We've played the minimum 6 minutes added on. Oh, was that a handball there from Blackstenius? Referee says no. Can Arsenal carve out one last opportunity? Ford to Valti. The runners are in the centre, flicked away vitally. It will be a corner, and it looks as though there's time to take it in. D'Angelo's coming up from the back. It's now or never for Arsenal.
When the keeper comes out, it means business, doesn't it?
This is it. This is Arsenal's FA Cup campaign right here. Corner is deep, flicked away, can't be controlled by Valti. She will keep it in. D'Angelo with the crossing. Bounces to Pelova. Her header into the arms of Keating, and Manchester City and Chiara Keating are almost there against Jonas Eidevall's side.
What an exciting last 7 minutes or so that this game has brought us.
Still we play on. Straight out of play from Keating. Manchester City with the interception. Eidevall's there again to get the throw moving quickly. Little's there. Ford. Valti. She'll pick it up once more, Valti. Got to get it towards the penalty area and does so now. It's a brilliant ball. Catley's delivery is poor. Fowler with the control and clearance. And there is the full-time whistle. It's Manchester City's day. It's Chiara Keating's day. They are through to the quarter-finals of the Women's FA Cup at the expense of the record winners Arsenal. A real battle between Gareth Taylor and Jonas Eidevall's sides. But in the end, it's her goal, Laia Alexandri, and her saves, Chiara Keating, that were the difference. Manchester City through, Arsenal are out.
What a performance as well by Keating there, because even as a player, talking about being a former player myself, when she was here, she made that mistake, you know, in the league. That's going to be playing on her mind when she come here today. But she's had a huge performance. Her saves have kept City in this game and made them win this game. But I think Arsenal, we see a much better second half from them. You know, and at times they probably deserve to go into the lead. But City with finishing the chance, Alexandri finishing that chance there. But Keating today has been phenomenal.
And even then, even right at the end, we almost had a twist. Did that ball cross the line? Was it carried into the goal by Chiara Keating? Or did she just manage to keep it out? It was so hard to tell from that angle.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to tell. It's hard to tell for us from where we are, and we're able to see replays as well. Then for the referee and the linesperson. But again, it would have been harsh, I think, on Keating as well if that mistake did go over the line because of her performance. But it's those fine margins, and yeah, it'd have been hard to call that one.
Fine margins. That's how Jonas Eidevall said this game would be decided. It's been decided against his side. It's Manchester City that are through. They beat Arsenal in the Women's FA Cup by 1-0.
Gilly, Vicky, thank you very much. Chiara Keating there. Remember last time these two sides met here at Boreham Wood, Keating had a match to forget in that one, but coming up big to make sure she sees her team, Farah, in the hat tomorrow for the next round.
Yeah, and probably a match for her to remember. I think, you know, certainly in those last 5-10 minutes of the game when the pressure's really up against them, she's pulled off two absolute worldies. And I mean, there's a questionable one whether one went over the line, and obviously we'll see the replay to see if it did, but I think her reaction showed that it might have. But she had a phenomenal performance, and look, you can see her there in the huddle, how happy she is to redeem herself from that, the fixture they had there in the league not so long ago.
And this great run from Manchester City continues, Anita, 10 wins in a row for them now.
Yeah, now, you know, they can carry that momentum hopefully back into the WSL. They've got a big game coming up against Chelsea as well. I think Gareth will be really happy with the way the team overall performed and held fast, especially the second half when they had to absorb a lot of pressure.
And Farah, this is what it means.
Yeah, I think, look, she deserves that. She knows she's pulled off two fantastic saves to really, as I say, put her team in the hat for the draw. So yeah, it's a fantastic reaction from somebody so young to come back from what was such a huge error in the WSL fixture here. So yeah, it's great to see these kind of reactions from her.
And Manchester City desperate to get back to Wembley. Remember, they haven't been there since 2022 when they managed to lift that trophy. Farah, a line on Arsenal, please, because when you look at it, they've got their big hitters back from injury. Maybe you're questioning why they left it to the last 6 minutes to mount any pressure on this Manchester City team.
I think that's the disappointing thing with this Arsenal team. When you look on paper, the squad that they have and the players that are coming back into the team. I know we've seen Vivian Miedema was out, you know, of action today, and obviously Kim Little coming to the game quite late. But even without those two players, the names that they have within this squad, they certainly should be producing a lot more than what they are. They were disappointing last week in terms of that final third area against West Ham, and I think they've been that again today. Look, they gave it their all in the last 10 minutes and created a few chances out of nothing, but this team needs to be producing more, in my opinion.
Yeah, when you look over the last, 4 seasons, one trophy, a Conti Cup, Anita, is that good enough for this Arsenal team?
No, absolutely not. One trophy in 5 years for a club with the legacy that Arsenal has is definitely not good enough, and I think they took too long to really impose themselves in a must-win important game for them this season, considering they're trailing the WSL to the leaders, Chelsea, as well.
I think another frustrating thing off the back of that, you look at the squad, and I go back to last week against West Ham when they are 2-1 down. The changes that are made, Alex, they just wasn't good enough. Tactically, they weren't good enough, and I think the impact as individuals coming into the game. The same again today. They go a goal down, they bring players on, and again, it's questionable as to why those substitutions were made and what personnel were changed into the game and out of the game. Didn't impact it.
Yeah, I was going to say a terrible 8 days for Arsenal, Farah.
Just a bit out. Just a bit.
I'll tell you what, let's switch it back to Manchester City and look how they've got into the next round. Their Spanish defender, Anita, reacting, the first to react, Alexandri.
Stop making it all about defenders today, Alex.
Give us our moment. Give us our moment.
And I love to see defenders score. You know, often they get, they do thankless work. But you see her in the box, the first to react. It's instinctive. She's managed to get her foot on the end of the ball and just poke it home into the back of the net there. And you could question Arsenal's defending. And I think, you see here, I think Lotte Wubben-Moy gets caught underneath the ball. They've got an overload on the backside of their line as well. So they're not covering the players. And then it just lands at, Catley's feet, and she's just having to react, and it's a bit too late.
Yeah, I think obviously the setup, there was an overload for Manchester City at that back post, but I think Lotte Wubben-Moy, her positioning and then their assessment and judgment of the flight of the ball was all wrong. And I think because of that, it then blindsided Catley, and the ball just fell to her. She actually couldn't move and adjust her feet. And then we see Alexandri, the fastest as a defender, to react, to put it in the back of the net.
And it's a disappointing way for Arsenal to concede a goal like that in a set-piece and organised situation.
Yeah, second goal for the club, and a huge one. Farah, but overall, Man City deserve to be in the next round on the balance of play?
I think it was a quite even game. I do think Manchester City probably controlled much of the first half. I think once they got their goal, they were quite comfortable with Arsenal putting that little bit of pressure on. And I feel like they felt that Arsenal couldn't score against them. I felt like they played in such a way, once they went 1-0 up, they were quite comfortable with Arsenal having a bit of possession and them soaking up that bit of pressure.
Do you think the ball went across the line at the end there, Anita, when Arsenal was applying that pressure?
Yeah, I think on reflection, having got a quick look at it again, I do think it potentially crossed the line, and, they'd be really unfortunate to have not really managed to push them to extra time. But you see here as the ball's in, Swinger comes in, Kiara Keaton just reacts here a bit late, just mishandles it. You see her right arm go in to try and grab the ball, and for me there, the ball is over the line.
I think she's still thinking about the magnificent save that she did moments before this corner, because she's not switched on, and you saw her with her left hand, she just miscontrols it, and then she's having to bring it back in. I mean, whether it's fully over the line, we'll never know because we don't have VAR, but yeah, I think her reaction makes me think that she knows it went in.
Let's actually have a look at more of those saves, because like you said, Arsenal applying that pressure towards the end of the game, and that's when you need your goalkeeper to be concentrated in the big moments, and she was, Farah.
Yeah, she was, and I think that was what was so good about her in this game today. She was so concentrated, but this save, the way she adjusts her feet, because she's not the biggest of goalkeepers, just watch her work her feet really, really well to just get that fingertip save away from the top corner.
Yeah, and I think she's shown a level of maturity in the way that she's playing now. That's a fantastic stop with strong right hand there to just deflect the ball over the bar. And she showed that and demonstrated that throughout the game.
Yeah, she did, and I think you have to. I love the reaction. We'll keep going back to that because it is so, so good to see that. But I do think for her today, I think it was all about her concentration. I think the fact that she stayed concentrated throughout the 90 minutes, and look, as a goalkeeper, to be able to do that, for someone so young and come back from that, I think it was a credit to her.
Yeah, when there's been so much talk, I suppose, from last weekend about celebrations, we love seeing those celebrations. Let's get you over to Jo Curry. She's with the goal scorer right now.
Well, Laia, congratulations. A huge afternoon for Manchester City. I get the impression from that smile you rather enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think that we were amazing. We know how we need to attack, but also we know how we need to defend against this great team. So, yeah, we're very happy.
It was a very reactive goal from yourself, some wonderful celebrations from your teammates afterwards. I thought Chloe Kelly was going to wobble your head off at one point. Just talk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, I was very exciting to help the team with a goal. Also, is an important goal, important win. I'm very excited. I don't know what to say.
Is that the biggest goal you've ever scored?
Yeah, probably yes. Also, it's my second goal with this t-shirt, so I'm very happy.
Talk to me about how good Chiara Keating was for Manchester City today, particularly in those dying moments.
She was amazing. I think she's very young, but also she's a top goalkeeper. She helped us a lot, and also we were top class in the back line, everyone fighting for each other, so proud of us.
I know you'll be jumping back on a coach after this, heading back to Manchester, but you're back in London on Friday night at Chelsea. How much confidence does a big win like today give you going into a league game like that?
Big confidence. We need to focus on recover well, safe travel back, and then back to London again, and we're going to fight for 3 points.
Well, have a safe journey back, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, let's have a look at that all-important goal once again. It's all about reacting, being the first to react, that hunger, Farah.
Yeah, it is, and Manchester City were the hungrier today. Certainly, you know, prior to this goal, they looked like they're the only team that was trying to push to score. But yeah, her reactions were spot on. I think, you know, as a defender in a set play, she'll probably know that you have to be switched on, and she's reacted the quickest to the knockdown.
And it's a wonderful delivery, actually. The area where the ball lands, you know, is the perfect area for any player to just be able to react and get a poke on the ball there.
Should have Arsenal had a penalty late on, Farah?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, you're clutching. Yeah, it would have been the softest of penalties. But I don't
Let's have a look and actually see. Let's go through this and break it down.
Yeah, I think obviously the corners come in and it's half cleared here. Blackstenius is going away from goal, and I just don't think there's much in that for her to go down. So for me, there was minimal contact in terms of if they're really trying to get a penalty out of that, they really are clutching.
If it was me as a defender, I would have felt like that would be hard, you know, I'd be hard done by. I think she has the right to go for the ball there. It's not enough contact really to bring her down, so it would have, yeah, it's the right decision in the end.
Well, we've got an unbiased opinion here from Alex Greenwood. No penalty there, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, as a defender, I'm disappointed if the referee gives that. I can understand there's contact, but what's contact now? I think she stayed on her feet as well. I think Chloe done enough just to put it off from taking a shot, so for me it's not a penalty.
But then, Alex, a huge congratulations. What does it mean for Manchester City to be in the hat next round and dreaming of Wembley still?
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. We've got so much confidence at the moment, and I think we're showing that. We showed a different side to our game this season that maybe we haven't had before, and you know, we go to the end there, we keep a clean sheet. It's something we pride ourselves on and something that we've worked really hard at over the course of the season. And I think we're a different outfit now. We look strong from set pieces, we look strong from defending set pieces, and the group's just really confident. So yeah, it's a massive win, and we move on to the next one.
What is it that's changed within the group? Because if you look back to this team last year in terms of those moments, they probably wouldn't have dealt with them the way they did today against this Arsenal team. So what's changed within the team?
Completely agree with you, Faz. I think for me it's probably consistency within the team, relationships within the group, and we might have to take one or two out here and there. Obviously we lost Jill. That was a massive loss for us, and I think quality speaks for itself. But we have players who train in that position in training, who come in and step in immediately, and we plan for these moments. But for me, the biggest thing is relationships within the group. We train for that in the week, and we've got partnerships now that we've played with all season, and it's not one player in, one player out each week. It's consistency.
Alex, how much do you, as a team, focus on all competitions, or do you just take each game as it comes and you know, work for those outcomes?
Don't be cliche, Alex.
Tell me the truth. Are you looking at the table? Are you looking at what's going on, you know, around you as well? And
the table today, absolutely not. It's not about the table today. Yeah. But of course, like, we break it down into sections, and this run of game was four games, 3 in London, which is tough. You know, travelling back to Manchester and back to London 3 times in 10 days takes a lot. It really does. But we're professional. We recover right, we go home, we look back at the game, we work on things that we can be better at. And like I said to you before, I think you see different sides of us now. We can keep the ball when we need to, we have to defend when we need to, and they put some good pressure on us at the end there, and I thought we dealt with it really well.
Al, you've got a long journey back up to Manchester, but you are back in London next Friday. You know, the game against Chelsea, only 3 points off them. Do you go, because you're on such a great run at the moment, 10 wins in a row now, that you go there with a belief?
Al, you've got to go there with belief. I think if you turn up thinking you've already lost the game, you probably have. I think it's a mindset situation, and for us now, we're so strong mentally. We go into every game thinking we can win, and why not? I think we've left ourselves in a great position within the league. It's like you said, it's 3 points off, and we want to win the league. I think in the past we've said, you know, we'll see how it goes, we'll see what happens. I'm not afraid to say it no more. I'm here to win the league, and and I want to go there next Friday and beat Chelsea.
I'm sure you Manchester City fans will be absolutely loving that. Alex, congratulations, well done. Okay, I tell you what, let's get straight over to Joe Curry, who's with Gareth Taylor.
Well, Gareth, they made you work for it right until the end, but just put into words how big a win that is for Manchester City.
Yeah, it's a huge win, huge performance from the girls. Thought some of the things I've been talking about this season a lot more about how resolute we are at the back, and you know that work starts from the front. The front players put all of the effort in, and led by Alex and Laya at the back. I thought the defence was superb, and Chiara when she had to make saves. Bit of redemption, you know, the last time she was here and she got a lot of stick today from the crowd, but for a young player to go through that and to come out the other side with a clean sheet and make those saves is amazing. That's why we love the game.
To win a game like today, to now go 10 games unbeaten, are we seeing a new kind of hunger from Manchester City at the moment?
Yeah, 10 wins consecutively, not unbeaten. I just thought I'd make that point because, yeah, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot, you know, but we know that we're at the sharp end of the season. You know, any slight slip-up is, you know, especially in cup competitions, you're pretty much done. And the WSL is also like a cup competition where you've got to be pretty flawless. And we positioned ourselves really well. You know, we play Chelsea in the Conti semi-final. We now look forward to the draw in the FA Cup because it's a magical competition. And the girls, yeah, they gave everything today. So proud of them.
The games are coming thick and fast at the moment. I guess the only downside today was taking Bunny Shaw off just after the hour mark. We saw her icing what looked like a calf strain. What kind of a knock did she pick up?
Yeah, Bunny's been nursing a bit of a calf problem for a couple of weeks, but she's fine. She's okay. She wanted to be out there, you know. If there was a doubt today, we would have reshuffled like we did against Tottenham with Alana coming in. So the players have, you know, they're stepping into those circumstances and situations and dealing with it really well.
Well, we'll see you back in London on Friday night. Have a safe journey back up north.
Thanks, Joe. Thank you. Okay, Judy.
Yeah, I tell you what, well, let's talk about from one happy manager to one very unhappy manager in Jonas Eidevall, Farrah Williams. I suppose, will question marks be raised about him now when you look at this squad and the progression, third in the WSL last season? They've got a big week ahead of them as well.
Yeah, they do. I think, look, when you're a team like Arsenal, when you invest as much as you do and you bring players in and you spend money and the expectation of the club within the women's game, I think the pressure's on to bring trophies home. They're out of the Champions League really early. They're now out of the FA Cup. They lost last weekend to West Ham, which puts them, you know, in a difficult position to really chase Manchester City and Chelsea. They've got Man United at the weekend, so they need all 3 points from that. Otherwise, they are completely out of the title race. And they've only got the Conti Cup to fight for in the semi-final of that. To just come back with a Conti Cup, for me, for a club like this, isn't good enough. So there will be question marks, I think, asked around that.
But actually, is it question marks just on the manager or but the players as well, Anita?
Well, I know they've had their injury, you know, worries as well. You've had Miedema just come back, Mead just come back, Leah Williamson just come back. But at the same time, you know, they've got a squad big enough to cope with this now. You know, as Farrah said, they've spent a lot of money. I think the subs today were questionable. We've seen that again against West Ham last weekend. Are they making the right decisions in the right moments to bring players on that will impact the game? They had a game that was postponed, London City game, so they had extra time to prepare for this game as well. So it's so disappointing that they were so on the back foot to start this match.
Yeah, I think very true. I think, you know, we forget that there was midweek games and Arsenal's game was postponed. So in terms of their recovery, Manchester City have had to travel as well. I just think they started very slow. I think they were really, as Anita said, at half-time, they looked like the away team at times. And this is normally a stadium that teams come to in fear, and they haven't made it like that of late. It's really difficult, and I think they're in a difficult position because they have to bring silverware home.
Okay, well, you two, it's always a pleasure spending a Sunday afternoon with you and you all at home also. Thank you for joining us. The big games keep on coming here on the BBC. We will be back on Friday as Chelsea will be hosting Manchester City. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
A rivalry that seems to become ever fiercer each time these two meet. It's Arsenal against Manchester City, already tight, already tense in these early stages. Good save, D'Angelo. It's stabbed in! Manchester City with the breakthrough. And the header brilliantly tipped away. Brilliant save again by Chiara Keating. Does it go over the line? It's Manchester City's day.